Hi, this is Becca.
And this is Kyla.
And you are listening to Chatterbox. Welcome to Chatterbox, a place where you can be a freaky little vampire and we will not judge. You can be part of the conversation, talk it up in the comments. We are here for it. Let's build a community of free thinkers and also friends who can come together, learn some shit, laugh a little, and just wanted to let you know that we are working on some merch right now. I haven't decided if we're going to do a t-shirt or stickers first, but we are working on that actively, so stay tuned for that.
Again!
And stay tuned for the market. But, Kyla, how was your week?
It was good. I actually could talk about my vacation since I never did.
Okay.
So, I went on a vacation about a week or two ago. I honestly forget. But I went on a cruise to Bermuda. We flew to New York. And it was really fun, really relaxing. We went through Norwegian. And flying to New York and then going on a subway, I just want you guys to know, taking the subway into the city, every airport in New York is outside the city. So you have to either take the subway or get a Uber, which I wouldn't get an Uber because it'd be fucking hella expensive instead of paying $3. It's like,
yeah,
why not get on the subway? But yeah, the cruise was fun. We went to Bermuda. The water was really cold, but I still got in, and it was so pretty. And I drank a lot of Starbucks, and I drank some alcohol, not as much as I usually do on the trip, but I just wasn't in the mood. And it just wasn't one of those like crazy vibes like I was used to, like MSC and Carnival. You know, it was really more. There was a lot more older people who say that. Like, I don't want to just say that, but I'm gonna say it. And
no,
they definitely
the people need to know.
They were catering. I felt like the music, they were catering it more to like older crowd. And let me just say this, I'm specific. Like, I don't like to just go to any club. I want there to be hip hop. I want to be able to get it with it. And they were playing stuff that they put on like Kiss 107 and like 101.9, stuff that I hear every day, and I'm like, what the fuck? I remember, and then some guy, he was like, I was complaining about it on the elevator. He's like, you too? He's like, God, I didn't. He's like, I was thinking to say, we both left the thing because we were just like so sick of the music.
What was it? Was it like 60s, 70s?
No, just like, oh my God.
Like Kiss,
just
Tool.
Kiss 107, just like basic songs that you just hear all the time that you don't want to hear.
No, like, I need an example.
Oh my God, I can't think of one right now. Let me think.
What?
Like, oh my God. So
is it like rock?
Well,
like...
this is a good one, but I feel like they play that anywhere, like the Cha-Cha Slide.
Oh, okay.
I hate that one. And that's different. I don't get as mad about that, but it's when they start playing like Firework by Katy Perry or something.
Oh, God.
Just like, and people are like, and then Journey, like, Don't Stop Believing.
Oh,
like,
my God, yeah.
They're coming to me. It's coming to me. And then it'll just be other... When they put, like, 80s music on, I love 80s music, okay? I get it to 80s music. And then they also play a lot of cruise music from what I'm used to. They really didn't play any cruise music. And the one song that I know how to dance to, that I have always talked about that I would do when I go, every time I go on cruises that I've been on, hundreds of people know this dance. And this song wasn't played during one of the actual events. It was played during just, like, a poolside music. And I got up, I'm like, well, if this is the only time it's going to be played, I'm going to do it. So I get up and I just start doing it, and I have talked about it, and when you meet people on a cruise, you see them all the time throughout the cruise, so you'll talk to them. So this girl came up, and she's like, is this the one you were talking about? I'm like, yes. She's like, nobody knows it. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on this cruise.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, I want you guys to know something. I honestly think it's because we were porting out of New York. There were so many people that were from Long Island, Massachusetts, people that were like from the 13 colonies area, basically.
Okay.
People don't want to fly to like Miami to go on a cruise. It's more easy for them to get a train. They can literally take a train like they have all kinds of train systems out there. People are like, oh, I'm taking the bus or I'm taking the train. I'll be there in a day. Like they have the subway from Massachusetts or the train all the way there. Like they'll take it in for the day. They don't have to fly. A lot of New Yorkers like, oh yeah, I can just. I'll always go on the cruise out of New York because I don't have to fly anywhere. Yeah. So the majority of people on this cruise were fucking New Yorkers, Long Island people from Massachusetts,
fucking just like rich people
out
like,
there in
fucking,
that side of the world. And personally, when I've gone on all my other cruises, it's been in Florida. Yeah. And it's people that are from like Ohio.
There's like varieties of people.
It's more of a variety of people from different states. Okay. And this was a lot. So that could have been why a lot of older people like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it was just that specific place because I know when I go through Norwegian, I bet you through Miami or like Florida, it's gonna be a different vibe. Yeah. I don't know, but it was fun. It was just different. Like I always have a good time. I mean, I'll make anything a good time. But yeah.
Your vibes were just a little off, I guess.
It just wasn't what I was used to, what I was expecting for my cruise. So, I think it's because we poured it out of New York. So, but my week after that was slow, and then this week has been slow. So, just initiating back into normal life, really, trying to catch up and.
Well, my last 2 weeks has not been that exciting.
Yeah, no.
I went to Missouri for a little bit, and
that's exciting to do something and get out.
It was fun. I mean, I definitely got inspired by going back to my childhood home,
so and that means it was meant to do something.
I mean, I had a good trip. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like particularly exciting. It was just more
it's exciting in a different way.
It was like nostalgic for me going back to my childhood home, but then when I came back, I spent a few days with my parents every day after work. They have my son. He's been in Texas for over a week, and I miss him a lot. So he's coming back on my birthday, so we're thinking that we're going to do a little park thing, you know, bring some little cakey.
At the helicopter park. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never been there, so...
I'm just joking. It's called the helicopter park.
Huh? Oh, I can cut it out. But I do want to go to a park for my birthday. I want my son to be involved. I haven't seen him in a minute. I haven't been feeling the greatest this week, so that on its own has been an ordeal, but I'm spring cleaning my house. I'm getting shit together, so when we're done recording here, I'm gonna go home and fucking clean for the rest of the day, so...
I think I've caught up pretty good. It took me a little bit. The first couple of days getting back from there, I was not wanting to do shit.
Well, yeah, you come back from your vacation, you typically need a vacation
but I didn't
from your vacation.
Really, because it wasn't like I was go this trip.
You were just more relaxed?
Yeah.
That's good.
I know, and that's why I was like, why the fuck am I so tired? Like...
I mean, getting a lot of sun and stuff like that affects your, like, you know, like being tired and shit, like...
Yeah, I guess. You're right.
Because I normally get that every year when I'm out in the sun for the first day, all day long. I am so tired the next day. But that happens to me every year.
But the thing is, because I can just keep going all day, you know. I just keep going until if I sit down, that's when it's bad. We gotta stand up. But the thing is, I have literally gotten a cruise ship down. I literally know how to find places quicker. When I first started, I would get confused and it took me days to get it. But now it's just like bing, bang, boom, bop, bing, bop, boom. Like, I know literally a cruise ship like that. So it doesn't, like, I can get just how to get to places because it can be confusing for people, to be real. Yeah. But me, I'm like, bring it on, big ship. Bring it on, motherfucking big ship. I want to go on a mega ship. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going on our cruise in November, so I'm excited. By the way, just as a reminder, there is a poll on our Spotify episodes. Please go to that episode to place your vote. We want to know what you want to see more of. So, cast your votes. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This episode discusses the tragic deaths of 4 University of Idaho students, and it includes details that may be disturbing to some listeners. So please know that this case is ongoing. The trial is going on right now, and the accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. The information shared in this episode is based on publicly available sources and is not intended to interfere with the legal process or to spread any speculations. What we aim to do is to handle this topic with sensitivity and respect for the victims and their families and the community that was impacted. Viewer and listener discretion is advised here. So if you don't like to hear about disturbing topics such as death or the psychology around the killer, then this episode may not be for you. Brian Kohberger did not just study crime, but he may have committed his crime to a very strange way test his own knowledge. Was he doing some sort of twisted experiment because he was obsessed with crime? Or did he have a personal vendetta? We are going to talk about the psychology and the criminology research that is publicly available, and we're going to talk about the parallels between what he was studying and the murders. We're going to be talking about this topic from a different angle, so before we get into the thick of it, I'm going to give a brief overview of the case so then you know exactly what happened before we approach it from the psychological perspective. In the early hours of November 13th, 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were brutally stabbed to death in a shared off-campus house in Moscow, Idaho. And if I butchered any of those names, I just want you to know we did a lot of research to make sure that we didn't mess up on the names. So, out of respect, I'm just going to refer to them by their first names for the rest of the time, because I do not want to butcher their last names. And the victims were in their beds when the attack occurred, and 2 surviving roommates were identified and were unharmed. According to the affidavit,
Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funke.
Okay, we'll refer to them as just Dylan and Bethany.
Yeah, take with what you will.
Okay, so according to the affidavit, Dylan woke up, this is a survivor, woke up at around 4 a.m. to what she thought was Kaylee playing with her dog. Shortly after, she heard someone say, "There's someone here." At approximately 4:12 a.m., records indicate that Xana's phone was showing that she was active on TikTok. So that was suggesting that she was awake during this time. Dylan opened her door and heard crying from Xana's room, followed by a male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Upon opening the door a 3rd time, Dylan saw a masked male figure described as approximately 5'10", not very muscular, but had a slightly athletic build, bushy eyebrows, walking past her towards the back sliding glass door. She then locked herself in her room after this encounter. So, I have a timeline of the events. The evening of November 12th, 2022 at 8 p.m., Ethan and Xana attend a party at the Sigma Chi fraternity house on campus in the University of Idaho. What the fuck? At 10 p.m., Kaylee and Madison visit the Corner Club, a downtown Moscow bar. At 1:30 a.m. on November 13th, Kaylee and Madison leave the Corner Club and head to the Grub food truck stand. And this is according to Wikipedia, by the way.
Yeah, there's literally video surveillance of them. Like, that's how they know, is there's a video surveillance of them getting food at the food truck. So.
Yeah, it says 141 surveillance footage captures Kaylee and Maddie at the Grub truck chatting and smiling. At 1:56 a.m., Kaylee and Maddie return to King Road residence at approximately a mile from the bar. Then at 1:45 a.m., Ethan and Xana arrive back at King Road's residence from the Sigma Chi party. In the early hours of 4 a.m. to 4:25 a.m., Dylan, one of the surviving roommates, wakes up to what she believes is Kaylee playing with her dog at 4 a.m. on the dot. 4:12 a.m., Xana's phone shows active on TikTok, suggesting she was awake. At 4:17 a.m., Dylan hears crying from Xana's room. A male voice says, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Nearby security cameras pick up what sounds like a whimpering or a loud thud, both happening at the same time. A dog can be heard barking numerous times, and it started at 4:17 a.m. At 4:20 a.m., surveillance captures a white Hyundai Elantra, later linked to Brian Kohberger, leaving the area at a very high speed. And at 4:25 a.m., authorities believe that the killing had occurred between 4:25 a.m. and 4 a.m. on November 13th. At around noon the next day, this led to the discovery of the bodies. A 911 call was made from one of the surviving roommates' phones reporting an unconscious person.
Not dead. Like, even though it was obvious that they had been... That's weird too, though, right?
That is fucking weird. That's suspicious as fuck.
And you can't make an... Go and check, or did she just say, "Oh, like, I know they're in their room unconscious," and call? Like, none of it makes sense to me, honestly.
It doesn't. Which... I'm not going to say what I think here. I'm not, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to spread any misinformation. So
No.
I am going to give you the facts, and then you are going to make a determination. I don't want to interfere with this legally, so again, all of this information you can find online, but we are drawing no conclusions here because this case is literally on trial right now. So I just support... What I support, though, is justice being served here for the victims.
My problem is sometimes I just can't understand, I guess, so I just question stuff.
I mean, that's what everybody's listening to this right now.
But I'm making assumptions myself. Hell yeah, I am.
Hey, draw your own conclusions.
I am.
But upon arrival, the police find the door to the home being open. After the 911 phone call was made, reporting an unconscious person, the caller is not considered a suspect. Upon arrival, police find the doors to the home open with no sign of forced entry or damage to the inside. Nothing appears to be missing. The 4 victims were found deceased in their beds on the second and third floors of the residence. Kaylee and Madison were found in Madison's bedroom on the second floor, and Xana and Ethan were found in Xana's bedroom on the third floor, and Kaylee's dog was found alive and unharmed on the third floor. But we do have some key details of inconsistencies. So this is not rumored. This is everybody speculating about this. So the 911 call timing. The 911 call reporting an unconscious person was made at 11:58 a.m., over 7 hours after the murders had occurred. There has been no murder weapon recovered, so authorities believe that the killer used a fixed blade knife.
So actually, in the thing I watched, it had said they found the case to it.
Okay.
Like on the first victim's bed, indicating that he opened it, left it there, and started the killings, which was the girls, Kaylee and Maddie's room.
Okay.
So they found the holder of the pocket knife, or the knife he had. It was like a shiv knife or something, and it was an army knife. But
but they still haven't recovered the actual.
No,
weapon.
But that's how they know what the weapon was, because of the case.
Okay.
Like what type of knife it was.
Good to know.
And then, but they also have the proof of the Amazon search of him buying that knife.
Okay.
And he searched it multiple times.
So that kind of like validates.
Oh yeah. And he got it months before. And then after he did the killings, I think he looked it up to buy a new one, went to add it to his cart.
After he allegedly did the killings.
And after he allegedly did the killings, Allegedly.
Because he's on trial.
He is on trial.
We don't want to.
He was found guilty. They're just trying to find him unguilty. But yes, guilty and not guilty until proven. Whatever. What is it? I think it's guilty until proven innocent.
Honestly, same concept. Yes, innocent until proven guilty. But the surviving roommate accounts. This is another inconsistency here. We have one surviving roommate saying that there was crying and seeing a masked man in black clothing walking towards her inside of the home. Why was no one contacted or called? Were you too fucked up to realize that something bad was happening?
I feel like no matter how fucked up you are, if you see someone hurt, you just call for help. You don't just...
You hear someone crying, that's enough reason to go either check it out or call somebody else to do it for you. And you're in the house, too.
And that's your friend, right? Or, were they actually friends or were they just roommates? Because I know Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee were all friends, but were the other roommates close with them like they were?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because you really don't hear much about them being friends and stuff like that. I don't know.
Maybe they were just roommates?
That was a party house, though.
Yeah.
Like, that house, people came in and out constantly. And there have been a lot of reportings in the past of noise disturbances, and the police have been there many times in the past because hella people go to their apartment. Like, there's been times where they asked to speak to one of the people that own the place, and all the roommates that own the place, no one would even be there, and there'd still be a party going on.
Oh my god.
Like, it was the party house. Like, one of the party houses in the college area. So people would just be there. Imagine just living in an apartment and you renting it out with all your roommates and you could be gone and then you come home and then no one is home that even like rents the place and there's just hella people there partying. I would feel so uncomfortable. I'm like, people around all my shit and me never there, or I don't know. I just wouldn't.
I was never, I went to college for about 3 years. I was not a partier until my very last year.
But imagine your home being the party place. I wouldn't like that.
Oh, no.
I would be
absolutely not.
I would just get mad all my stuff getting touched.
Well, there is an alternative suspect theory that possibly Brian Kohberger's defense team is proposing an alternative suspect theory, but has yet to identify the alleged perpetrator or provide admissible evidence. So, law enforcement agencies, including Moscow Police Department, Idaho State Police, and the FBI launched an extensive investigation, and investigators also have obtained DNA from the knife sheath found at the crime scene, which was linked to Brian Kohberger's familial DNA through analysis.
There it is. So there it is, yeah. Sheath. It's called a sheath. A sheath.
The cell phone data placed Brian near the crime scene on multiple occasions, and his phone records show pings from the cell phone tower nearest to the residence at least 12 times between June of 2022 to November 13th of 2022.
So basically he was stalking the place, investigating it. No, he was driving by. It was just him driving by. Constantly. He would just, every once in a while, he'd come drive by. Well, it was like prior times in the past that they went back and looked for, and it was basically months before, I think up to 8 months before, he came and was driving past the house and would stop and slow down and then go.
It's fucking weird.
And they have video footage of it.
Well, Kohberger, Brian was a former criminology PhD student at Washington State University. He was arrested on December 30th of 2022 at his parents' home in Pennsylvania, and authorities found him wearing surgical gloves and observed him placing trash bags into a neighbor's garbage can. Items recovered from his home include a knife, a pistol, a blackface mask, and identification cards inside of a glove within a box. Brian faces 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. The trial is scheduled to begin on August 11th, 2025 in Boise, Idaho.
It's a pre-trial right now.
Okay.
So the pre-trial's going on, so it's like don't really know the differences, but it's his pre-trial, and then his real trial is set to be in August. Yeah.
In May of 2025, Brian's defense team proposed an alternative suspect theory that they have yet to identify the alleged perpetrator or provide admissible evidence to Brian being at the crime scene, and they have scheduled a review to cover the evidence again, and that's scheduled for next month. So,
y'all stay tuned for this shit. This stuff is crazy. The Idaho 4 is huge.
I've never really looked into this case before we, started talking about this topic. I know I had seen I think I actually have seen the documentary a few years ago, but I just don't remember all the pieces of it because it's been a few years. But I think I did watch it when it first came out.
I don't know if I did, but like I just got TikTok, remember, here a year ago or so.
Same.
So I'm still catching up on shit because I was very sheltered. Not that but personally I avoid bad stuff. I told myself a long time ago that I really wouldn't delve in the news and such because just seeing all the sad, like when people get murdered and stuff or killed, it's just hard for me. So I just don't watch it.
Yeah, I don't watch the news because
just all the
I
devastation.
want to have a good day.
All the devastation, yeah. I'm not starting my day with watching the news. Mm-hmm. Hell no. Because all it is devastation, not like the weather anymore, really.
Yeah. No, I don't watch I don't want to be on the news.
On the documentary, it was showing videos of where he went first and of the outline of the house, mm-hmm. and how he literally basically skipped their rooms. And it's just like, it's like he knew
where they were,
who he was going for.
Yeah.
It's like he knew where they were. So like the first victim, he had to go up on the 3rd floor. Kaylee and Maddie's room were on the 3rd floor, and he came in the 2nd floor through, they believe, the sliding glass door, because that's the door that like cops go to when they knock on the door in the past. Like that's the door that they use to walk in and out of. Mm-hmm. And it's on the 2nd floor. Like it's just like a stable floor. But supposedly like he went to their room first and killed them, and then came down and did Xana and Ethan next, which was on the 2nd floor. And that's when he's seen going out of the sliding glass door by the surviving victim, Dylan DM. Like where they were laying and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just saying like the outline, like I was saying earlier, because like that's where the sheath was found, like in their room first, because okay. That's where he opened it up and began to do it. That's where it started.
Okay.
And then there was only one that was like had defense wounds because Ethan was sleeping when he got killed. He wasn't even awake.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I don't know. This is crazy, and that's why I feel like there's just still more information, you know.
Well, we also have stalker allegations. I guess that there's
Kaylee.
Reports were saying that Kaylee was saying either weeks or months before the murder that she had a stalker, but the claim was never verified and was not mentioned in the case against Brian because she had never went to the police about it. This is only people around her saying that she said that she had a stalker. Well,
because she didn't really act upon it because she didn't probably think it was that serious.
Yeah, I mean...
But she didn't even... Supposedly, Maddie got killed first, and then next was Kaylee. Supposedly, by detectives and stuff. I don't know. I was like, I don't even want to say it.
Well, for the people who are maybe obsessed with criminology and psychology when it comes to the background of the killer, we are going to actually talk about that right now. The psychology behind Brian Kohberger, who is, again, innocent until proven guilty, but we have to look at these aspects of his life.
Remember, it's allegedly, everyone.
Yes. So, Brian's academic background and possible motives could have been him studying under Dr. Catherine Ramsland, who was famous for interviewing BTK, and apparently his research surveyed asking criminals about their emotions during crimes, and this was a way for him to study his own impulses.
He asked really fucked up questions. Like, not just like, what did you feel after you killed them? I mean, he would ask them, like, I don't know. They have looked up, they have the searches of what he would ask them and stuff. Like, the questions he'd ask the prisoners.
Ew.
Yeah. So, like, you know what kind of, like, did you do anything, like, SA. Like, he
Mhm.
was asking them, like, what did you do after? How did you hide it? Like, he was asking, like,
So he could carry it out.
so he could know what to
Possibly.
do, get ideas. But he was acting like it was for, like, his college stuff, right?
Oh my god.
Playing it off, learning. And then he was watching shows about Ted Bundy, like, in his searches.
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God.
Like, there was a picture of him online where he looks like there's a picture that Ted Bundy or something, and then he has, like, it's like he went out and, like, he had the same type of look. It was just really creepy. He gave off the same aura.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just creepy.
Well, this also, again, this is the criminology aspect of it. So the death by stabbing suggests that he had suppressed rage and wanted to like assert dominance. Again, we don't know the true motive here, so this is just speculation. But did he kill these students to test his own knowledge of what he had been studying in college? Was this targeted or was it random? There's no clear connection to the victims. So, was it about the house being known for parties? Was one of the victims, only one person he was going for, and then it just ended up being multiple on impulse?
Like, he ended up liking the first two, but why did he skip that one girl? Like, she opened the door. He looked at her. They made eye contact, and he walked right past her. That is weird.
It is weird, but I mean, when you're in an adrenaline rush, you're not thinking straight, and also if you're fucked up, you're not thinking
I'm
straight.
talking about him. Why didn't he go and kill her too? If she was right there.
Because sometimes which I'm not a
Maybe
criminal or
maybe
anything.
he wanted it to be more unexpected, and she was more expecting it.
He's not like a serial killer though. He's just a killer. This is his first four, so you can't like
that they know of.
Hmm?
That they know of.
Oh, true. Didn't you say that there was like another case he was involved
It's
in?
closed and dismissed, but it was like a Pullman case, but it doesn't match up. But I'm just saying, like, there could be a chance that he could have done some weird shit before, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, it's entirely
But
possible.
like I said, the trial's still going on. He hasn't talked or anything. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't said anything. So, I don't know.
Well, we do have some behavioral red flags that was going on in his life before the murders. And these are former classmates' accounts. So somebody said from his class, he was socially awkward, he made female students uncomfortable, he was socially isolated and obsessed with crime, he had no close friends. The only friend that they could find was a former classmate who had cut him off for being as what they described as creepy. The classmates said he liked to dominate the conversation, especially when it came to crime. He would make jokes about crime, stuff that was not funny. Apparently, he would make the female classmates feel awkward and they would try to avoid him because I guess he had a very unsettling demeanor and would always try to like one up the story.
And he's older too. So these girls were like 21, 22. He's like
Mhm.
28 when this happened.
Mhm.
So they were undergraduates. So I don't know how like he would play a part because they went to different universities too, but they were so close to each other.
Well, this is also another red flag apparently. He posted on forums discussing emo and sadistic urges, and that involves self-harm and things like that. So that's just, I guess altogether it's kind of creating a not very good thing. What?
No, nothing. It just felt good. Sorry, nothing.
There's also the stalking behavior aspect of it. So cell data suggests that he had visited the area of where the murders were committed 12 times before the murders had actually occurred. So the real question is here, did he surveil the house beforehand or not? And then we can talk about his post-crime behavior and arrests. So online activity, unconfirmed but suspected, said that he had posted in a crime forum after how to get away with murder and what emotions killers feel after a crime. After the murders, a user matching his writing style defended Brian before his arrest. So some speculate that he had posted about the murders under a pseudonym. He did make a cross-country trip from Idaho to Pennsylvania. This was after the murders, so they say that he didn't flee in a traditional sense. He didn't like go on the run and like hide and, try to evade capture. He just went to his parents' house in Albrightsville in Pennsylvania. So on December 15th, 2022, Brian and his father were stopped twice by police in Indiana while driving a white Hyundai Elantra for speeding and once for following another vehicle too closely. Both times they were let go without a warning, and these stops were later revealed to have occurred while Brian was under surveillance by the FBI. December 30th, 2022, Brian was arrested in Pennsylvania at his parents' home. He was found wearing latex gloves, and law enforcement reported that he was separating trash into Ziploc bags, possibly to avoid DNA transfer.
Yeah, supposedly he was cleaning his car top to bottom, like in depth with little wipes, like cleaning the crap out of his car.
Oh shit.
His Hyundai.
I did not know that.
And then also I meant to mention that...
Am I saying it wrong? I'm saying Hyundai.
It's a Hyundai.
Well, you should have corrected me.
I don't want to interrupt you.
You should have corrected me. Now I'm gonna have to go back and fix that.
No, you don't. It's not fine. It's fine. It sounds fine. People might have... She has an accent. Leave her alone. Hyundai Elantra.
I don't know cars, man.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I said it after that. But basically, right after the murders accounted, they have video footage of him coming hours later of the morning to come by the house as well again. Like once more.
Oh shit.
Like he had the balls
to come back.
Like I think it was like at 9 a.m. He came back. He drove by. But this was before everybody was like, I don't know what he was thinking. But they have the, video surveillance of him coming back, driving through, of his car.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
that's fucked up.
But this is crazy. He has some big balls. He might have been a little coward, but those balls are big for him driving back hours later. That's not normal for someone that just potentially, allegedly murdered people would do.
Yeah. Well, authorities have matched the DNA sample of the knife sheath to him at the crime scene, so I would say that kind of puts him...
They have basically sufficient enough evidence. That's why they were able to arrest him. They had enough evidence. Like, usually they can't go off of stuff without a lot of evidence, which they won't just do it. That's why a lot of people get let go, because even though they know it happened to them, or they did it, they might not have enough proof. Or it can just be he said, she said.
Well, when Brian was transported back to Idaho back in 2023, he tried to put it to the cops that he was not fleeing to hide, that he had traveled home for the holidays. So the FBI was aware that he knew suspicion was mounting against him, which is why he had left. But they had been tracking him for weeks before his arrest.
Because they had a thing up on the board, on like telephone poles of them looking for the white car.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, it kind of gave him a hunch. Like, they put it up, like, looking for this car.
So, because he was being tracked and under active federal and state surveillance, questions remain as, did he think that fleeing would buy him time to get rid of evidence? Did he think that fleeing would buy him time to get rid of evidence? And the left trash outside of his parents' house, was this a mistake or was it intentional? Like narcissistic, like I want you to find this.
I know, but why would he want them to find it?
Because killers can be sadistic, evil motherfuckers who want people to know what they did. Because it's like the shock factor, like, brings it out for them. You know?
Yeah.
Or it's multiple things. Like, maybe they get off on other people being horrified.
Well, it's just like the National Forest Killer. He felt good when he did it or something. Like, you know, I don't know. So maybe once you do it once, he just wanted to see how he'd feel. But that's why he was asking those questions online to the people in prison. Because he wanted to feel something. He didn't have anything in life going for him. He didn't have a job. You know what I mean? Like, not, like, I'm not saying he didn't have it, but he might have had it. He was just working college. He just didn't have, I guess, more of a social life, right? Just didn't have it, which can be detrimental for, I feel like more men than women, to be honest, because that's like literally a study that, and even in other, not maybe not in America, but in other countries, a lot of men are just, it's overpopulation of men, more alone. There's not enough women for the men, all the men in the world, and they just sit alone in their house all day. I mean, that can be detrimental to like any mind. I just feel like.
I mean, some people are born to be introverts, some people are extroverts, some people are in the middle.
But it's not good. But I'm not saying they don't have a choice, basically. Like, they're just awkward, they don't have the social skills. Some people lack that, literally. And they want that, but they'll never get it. So it's like their emotions can turn and change into, like, just mad at everybody because they don't fit in. Like, I don't know, it just turns their mind, just they change. And after so many years of, like, they were like people that I knew, I'm saying, of not having many friends, and I don't know, he just wanted to maybe feel something.
Yes, and again, speculating
Allegedly.
on his motives, he hasn't stated what his motives really were, but the psychology behind it is what fascinates all of us, because we're all trying to seek to understand exactly why would someone do something this fucking horrible? Why would somebody end the lives
We all
of
want the answer.
4 beautiful college students who were,
thriving.
yeah.
And just living a normal college life. Friends, partying, going out to the clubs, making TikToks. Like, they were just living their teenage life, their college life.
Mhm. I saw a TikTok which I saved and it was actually taken down and it was really kind of fucked up.
What was it?
Somebody said, and it was a male, mind you. He said, "I don't believe that the Idaho murders ever happened." He said, "I believe that this is all just public distraction." I was like, and the comments on this were just like racking up. People were like, "How fucking dare you say that?" And he was just like, "My opinion." He was like, "I don't think that this happened at all. I think this is all fake."
Trying to say it's the Matrix or something, and they're putting something fake.
I don't fucking know. I saved it and it was taken down because when I went back to the video later that night, because I was like,
I was probably report about it. A bunch of people report.
Oh, for sure, because I was going to show Eric before we went to bed because I was like, researching this last night, and then before we went to bed, I was like, wait, I want to show you this video. I go back and I knew where I'd saved it because I checked, and then it said video unavailable.
It was gone?
Yeah. But it was this guy who was just like, it never happened.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
his ass. They said, "Fuck you."
I just think it's fucking crazy.
People are fucked up.
You really, like, you can't say your opinion, but then you also can take your opinion too far, which, by the way, total sidetrack right now, but I have to talk about this really quick. It's another TikTok drama thing going on right now. Have you heard about Pilates Girl?
No.
She was, like, partially trending this week. Earlier last week. It kind of, like, died down. But apparently there's this Pilates instructor who got in her car after, or either she was either getting ready at home or she had just left a Pilates class. It was one of the two. But she was like talking and like doing her hair and like, and was basically like, if you're 200 pounds, then you should not ever be a Pilates instructor. You should not ever be in Pilates. Like, nobody wants you there. So putting somebody's body type in a category and be like, everybody except for you can't do this. And apparently, because she like posted that to her TikTok, thinking, "Oh, this is some hot shit. This is gonna get me a lot of likes. It's controversial and whatever." Somebody sent it to the Pilates place where she was an instructor. The next time she came in, They revoked her membership, and they said that they were firing her, and that she was not allowed to teach there anymore. And now she can't find a fucking job anywhere because everybody knows her as Pilates girl right now, who fucking called out because she literally said, if you're over 200 pounds, then you're fat, and you shouldn't be a Pilates instructor.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
You're so awful. Like, what did you think you are? You're not, like, you can't, you're not just some famous person that can do that.
And that,
but they obviously can't do it either, but you're definitely not going to get away with that at all.
yeah, and that just goes to show that you just can't get on the internet and just willy-nilly say whatever the fuck you want and expect good things to come to you for calling out a group of people.
Karma will come upon you, just like Chris Brown. All that stuff that's happened to him, he is in jail right now in the UK, and they're a lot off of like G something H. It's like GBA, grievance bodily harm. Has charges for that, which is basically either breaking bones or like hurting, basically like cutting someone. Like he basically hurt someone very badly, and he's facing charges in the UK right now. And like he's gotten in trouble a lot in the past, but he's Chris Brown, so he's got away with it. But
Yeah,
not in the motherfucking UK. Shit's gonna happen.
Oh,
Same
God.
thing with him. But this girl is a very small person. Like, and if you have some type of views on TikTok, I don't know what kind of views you thought you had, but someone's gonna make you fucking pay for that for sure.
Yeah, and you can't just get on the internet and then start calling out groups
Karma
of people.
will come upon you, like him, like her, like whatever else you might have done. Anybody out there, karma will come upon you. So I try not to treat others as the way you'd want to be treated.
And also, as the saying goes, if you don't know the saying, you're gonna know it. What kind of body is a bikini body? Do you know?
And everybody?
Everybody is a bikini body. So don't think that you can't wear a bikini because you look a certain way, because
Is this
literally
a question?
No, yeah, it was, because
I've heard, no, it wasn't, because I've heard that before.
Yeah, people say, you know, what's the best type of body for a bikini? And it's all bodies.
It's all bodies, yeah. I mean, nobody, you can't wear, why would you not be able to wear one? Like, give me a reason why you couldn't. Who cares?
Yeah, love your body.
Love your body.
And if you
love you.
And if you don't love it, do something about it that makes you love it.
That we really weren't even supposed to see our reflection? Like, only through the water, but now we are constantly seeing ourselves, and it's like very vain in a sense. It's like we're not supposed to be looking at our reflection all the time.
Really?
It's just like a thing. Like, think about it. There weren't mirrors in the original times. The only time you ever seen yourself was when you looked in the water.
True, yeah.
So now all we do is just reflect on how we look, and we're constantly looking at ourselves. There's mirrors everywhere.
It makes us very superficial.
Yes. And that's also a trick in the Matrix, I believe. It's just, I don't know. I was just listening to something one day. But
no, that's
you just gotta think about it like that.
I never thought about it like that.
So here I am, like, literally, I'm looking at a mirror now.
She's doing her makeup right now.
I'm trying to like talk and like do small things.
Here, do you want to talk while I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just do small things as we try to get my stuff done. You know, try to keep my life going. But yeah, mirrors. I don't know. When I hear things online, it really makes me think about stuff. And my boyfriend he doesn't get mad. I feel like I exaggerate. But he just gives me shit because I'm just such a conspiracy theorist. I believe that everything here is a simulation. And the more I see it on TikTok and stuff, I believe that shit. Like, you can't not believe stuff that you hear. I don't know, because at this point of rate, at the end of the day, the stuff that we've learned and we've seen, anything is fucking possible. Right? In this world. Everything is fucking created to do us wrong. I believe there's a cure for cancer. Do they want us to know it? No, because the medical industry is a million, billion, trillion-dollar market, and all they care about is making money. There's just so much going on. It's all fucked up, and we're all in it. We're all in the system. But that's just me. I'm ranting about random shit. It'll go from one thing to another. And that's why my boyfriend's like, get ready
Talk about shit.
I need to go on like TikTok live and just start talking about something. I just recently got granted it. I didn't even realize it.
What?
Like I can do TikTok live now.
Yeah, same.
I didn't I know you had it.
Well, apparently I just got the
They keep messaging me like, you have TikTok live, you have TikTok live. I'm like, oh shit, when did I get it? I didn't even know.
I got TikTok live with the ability for people to send me rewards and stuff.
I think I do too.
Because I just got it like this week.
How many followers do you have again? Like 100?
I have like
300?
almost like 600, I think.
Hell yeah, it is.
I had a video like blow up this week, and it was the stupidest video
Which
ever.
one was it? And
it was the one about the Pope.
oh, okay, dude, that one, that Minions We Fly, that one got fucking hella views.
Which
10K
one?
views, the one you pinned.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
one you pinned.
Yeah, one of them has. I did not pay for any promotion on it. I have like 10K views on it, and I don't know what the fuck I did. I just used a trending sound that was like the #1 trending sound on a Friday night. Made the stupidest video with my dogs, and it got like 10K views. Like, I don't know what the fuck. But I guess sometimes you hit the algorithm jackpot, and then, other times you don't. I guess I'm just waiting for my turn.
Honestly, I'm just having fun, and I'm doing this thing where literally I have learned, this girl said it, and I've been really trying to go by it, instead of saying, like, you give yourself a timeline, like, you're holding yourself back. You need to just, instead of saying, I think it's going to happen, oh, I want it to happen, I know I'm going to get a lot of views. I know I'm going to make money online. Don't say, I want it to happen, I think. You need to just, like, you need to know. You need to align your path. So I'm really trying, and you saying it and actually thinking it and having that mindset can change. And I'm really trying to revert myself, because I feel like I was giving not really self a timeline, but I'm like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm saying right now it is happening, and I am going to make some sort of income by doing something I like enjoy doing. That way I can just go and travel and everything, you know what I mean?
And that's manifesting it, yeah.
That's what I'm doing. And that's, if this really is a fucking matrix and we really are in a simulation, then I'm gonna fucking cheat the fucking matrix, and I'm gonna cheat the fucking simulation. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna fucking get there.
She's gonna hack the algorithm.
I'm not a fucking NPC, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm not an NPC
I'm not
either.
a fucking NPC. So, yeah, let me just tell you that all right now. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be an NPC. So, and I feel like we all start out as NPCs. So, we just gotta unlock ourselves. Okay? Okay, everybody?
Yeah, you NPC motherfuckers.
No, everybody, we need to open up our minds and think that things are possible that you don't think are possible. That's all I have to say.
Yes.
All right, you're welcome. Ran over.
I wish we could keep talking about random shit, but we gotta...
Oh, no, I'm good. Girl, you're the one who told me to. I'm like, okay, here we go.
So, when it comes to Brian's courtroom demeanor, he's deemed right now as cold, emotionless, and maybe is he showing signs of maybe being a psycho?
It's like he wants to be a psycho. He's like, yeah, I'm a psycho. That's why I want you to see everything.
Other way to look at it is he just trying to appear in control for his defense. He doesn't want to seem emotional and unstable. He wants to seem like he's...
A lot of the times people play it off that they have a mental issue. That way they can't get deemed guilty. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But he's obviously not mentally ill, because he's in college and he has multiple degrees. He has a PhD degree.
Yeah.
Like, he's
not stupid.
He's a smart dude. But obviously I don't feel like he's that smart, because the amount of times that he drove through with his car, like, did you not take account that people have all kinds of surveillance videos these days? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I feel like in instances he was very stupid, and he left that sheath. And then they could look at your Amazon searches. It's just like he left a lot of clues, I feel like, honestly.
Yeah, and these are actually, like, just red flags in general. Like, there were some actually bizarre real-life encounters with him. Neighbors in Pullman, Washington reported him wearing gloves inside of his own apartment. And I guess they said that maybe he was just, like, paranoid about
He's like a
germs.
clean freak, dude. But he might, I'm guessing.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm right, but maybe he's like a crazy clean freak. But also that case, which you guys can look into it, it was closed, but there was a case of someone that got someone's house was broken into. There was a black mask being worn. I guess the height description didn't match up, but like him having the knife and breaking in, and then I guess she like somehow kicked him down and he left or something. But the case got closed. But it was in Pullman. It was
Well,
literally in Pullman.
neighbors also said that he would frequently go on late night walks, which is possibly linked to his stalking behavior. A former high school classmate said that he bullied a girl with disabilities and would have violent outbursts.
Yes. Okay. So basically, what I heard is what it was he got bullied as a child and he was overweight, I guess, when he was young. And then when he was like his last 2 years of high school, he like lost weight and then he turned into the bully.
Oh, shit.
So he got bullied and then he turned to bully people. So I guess that makes sense. So yeah. He just like kind of grew up, grew out of his body and grew into his man body. You know how some boys take longer to like get there. But yeah, he lost all that. It's kind of like Josh Peck. When he was young, he was like bigger, and then he was older and he's just like taller, and now he's skinny. It's probably just like that.
Other red flags was he was fired as a TA. He was a teacher's assistant at WSU for intimidating behavior. And the police I guess he was called, oh my god. Somebody called the police on him in 2022, but for reasons unknown, and there was no arrest.
Really?
Yes. And...
Oh, wait. December 2022. Where?
It doesn't say the month. It just says in 2022. And he does seem to have... Sorry. He allegedly messaged victims on Instagram before the killings. Unconfirmed, apparently.
Also, I heard on this documentary, it's on Max. It states that he went and searched these people up after he supposedly, allegedly killed them. Like, he looked up their sites. He looked them up.
Well, allegedly, people speculate that he has some sort of, like, schizophrenia or maybe a unconfirmed mental health issue.
Because he's so solitary.
Yes.
And that can change somebody.
And we're going to talk about what these inconsistencies are. All the inconsistencies in just one location, because we've talked about multiple inconsistencies, but now we're just going to kind of lay it out one by one. The 8-hour delay in calling 911. The murders occur at 4 a.m., but the 911 phone call wasn't made until almost noon. Possible explanations are the surviving roommates were in shock or thought someone else would call. One roommate saw him, and it is alleged that they thought that he was a guest in the house. But if he's wearing a mask, why would he look like a guest? But that's just common sense coming from somebody who's not a college student.
I mean, if she also heard faint screams,
yeah, why wouldn't you want to make sure that your friend's okay?
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Then we have the DoorDash delivery driver. Somebody ordered Jack in the Box at 4 a.m. The key question is, did the driver see Brian entering or exiting? Was the food left outside or did somebody take it? Could Brian have used the delivery as a distraction?
I think, well, since the delivery, she ordered, I think there's like a specific time on when she placed the order. The Uber driver literally, or the Uber Eats or whatever that dropped off her food, dropped it off right at 4 a.m. So I think, I don't know if there's information from the driver. I don't think there is. I think it just happened right afterwards because she was on TikTok at 4:12. So 12 minutes later, I think they shortened the time frame from like 4 to 12. So they said like within like 12 minutes the murders happened or something. So they're narrowing it down more.
Yeah.
From like their findings of all of the evidence of her being online and what time and when she got the order, like when the guy got there, because that's all, like, you can find that stuff online, you know what I mean? So when all the detectives were talking about it, that's what they were saying.
The other inconsistency is the missing knife. So where is the weapon? And it's likely it's a Kohberger knife, which, despite all of the searches, has not been found. Did he clean up and get rid of evidence? Another question. Neighbors reported hearing him inside of the residence during the time of the murders. Sorry. Neighbors reported hearing whimpering and or crying and a loud thud while he was inside of the home. But, again, this is not substantiated.
There's actually, like, you can hear the ring footage now. It's out online.
Oh, shit.
Like, I just heard it the other day. Yesterday. I heard it. You can definitely hear some shit through the ring bell.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I have not seen that.
Well, yeah, it's definitely, it's new, it's new. Everything, there's new stuff being released, like, constantly.
And here are some theories about why the roommates were spared. The first floor survivors. Did he not see them during the, like, adrenaline rush? He didn't really just take notice of them, like, he was just so involved in what he was doing, he was just not really paying attention to what was going on around him.
So even though they made eye contact, maybe he wasn't physically there or mentally there.
Yeah. Or were his targets strictly on the second or third floor?
Well, the thing is the ones that survived, one was on the first floor, which he didn't ever go on. The second floor was where the sliding door was, and there was Xana's room, and then the surviving one, and then the lower floor of surviving, and then the third floor is where, I think, either the third floor, both victims were on separate floors, and both survivors were on different floors. So
Yes.
That's what's weird.
And some speculate that Maddie was the main target because she was the one who was experiencing the so-called stalking that people talk about.
I just don't, if he was stalking her, then why would he go to Xana and Ethan's room? Like, it just is weird to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But not that girl's room that supposedly she made eye contact with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
And the last inconsistency is, why did Brian return to the scene when his cell data shows that he came back at 9 a.m.?
Told you.
What was it? To observe the police response? To retrieve evidence?
To see if anything had happened yet.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, to see if anything had started the process, which is weird. Like, what if all the cops were there and he just drove right by? Like, what if they had already started? What if they had already known? What if they called the cops already?
Mm-hmm. He just was anxious to know what was happening with
that in that moment. They could have already been on it, and he would have been driving right there in front of everybody.
Even after Brian Kohberger's arrest, the Idaho murders remain a mystery still, from the missing murder weapon to the very eerie 8-hour delay before the police was called by the roommates, and stating that the victim was unconscious when they were most definitely not unconscious. And those are the big 5 unanswered questions that still haunt the case. And now, the last part of this episode is the true crime versus reality. How social media screwed up this case. And we are going to do a deep dive analysis into this. So, TikTok sleuths and false accusations ran rampant on social media, and police had to debunk these rumors, wasting time. So after this happened, a media frenzy was amid the police strategy. So a lot of key details were held back in the beginning because they were being misconstrued, and maybe because they didn't get these details out sooner, maybe that's why Brian wasn't caught. Was this a misjustice through the justice system? And Brian's arrest proved a lot of theories wrong because he did not have any prior criminal record, and he did not have a known connection to the victims. He was not their friend, he was not in their friend group, he was not involved in their lives at all, other than the fact that he was allegedly potentially stalking one of the victims. Not confirmed.
And also, we'll never know if he ever attended a party.
Yeah, because it's not like they have like a fucking sign-up sheet.
And it's like, if they're not home all the time, if he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he could have went in her room while she was gone and shit if he was going. I'm not saying, this is all alleged to me thinking, like, if he was really stalking her and their people were not to be at homes at times, I mean, who's to say people can't go in those rooms anytime they want?
Yeah. Because, I mean, these college students, they don't have security.
Like, they left that sliding door open all the time.
Yeah.
That's probably why he got in. There was no forced entry. There was no type of forced
entry. He probably
entry
did just
he
walk
just walked
right
right
in.
in. And that's at 4 at night. I mean, why don't they lock their damn door? I don't know why. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I will go by this at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what part of town you're in. If it's the safest part of town, someone from a bad part of town could come to your town. Just that one night you decided to leave your door unlocked. Like, I literally get on Trapper about it. I think he's finally starting to really remember, because I'm always like, can you lock the freaking door behind you? Because I'm such a freaking weirdo. And I know a lot of people don't lock their door. It's very common. I just have had past trauma that have caused me to, like, be very on top of locking the door. And after this happened,
as you should be.
And now these girls that probably survived, they're gonna lock their fucking door. Probably from now on.
Well, there is also the ethics of the coverage of the case. Because apparently, Kaylee's family has done interviews, but the other families want privacy. So these are the family reactions. And let's just be real, sometimes the ethics of media can be very questionable, especially how they try to hunt these families down during times of despair and death, and they're just trying to get information out of them for a quick buck. It's fucked up.
No, it is messed up.
Their motives are fucked up. And this is also some questions that we're going to get into. Should YouTube channels be able to profit off of true crime exploitation or raising awareness? Because it's getting to the point where sometimes people are almost like making jokes about a case and things like that. And these things are very serious, and it's not something to make a joke about, and it's not something that you should be relishing in. The fact that people lost their lives and you're profiting off of that by disrespecting these victims and their families by making fun of their deaths and stuff, because
people do that.
Yeah.
I think the point of ours is to get the information out there to either get in the mind of why this would happen to somebody, but also just make you more aware out there that this world, anything can happen. And anybody that's a normal or seems like a normal person is capable of anything and is capable of cracking any moment. Yeah, you just gotta know that. I just feel like you just have to be aware. Just be aware. I get, like, you want to live your life and be happy, but sometimes listening to these stories make you want to, like, just look over your shoulder sometimes, you know, and if you have a stalker, report it, you know, don't wait. I mean, because who knows? I mean, if he wasn't this potential stalker, that's fine and all, but what if he was? What if this is what led to it? Like, him being crazy. So, allegedly. Just think about it. I don't know, this is just also raising awareness on our thing. You know?
Yes, and the thing is, when it comes to these types of, like, documentaries and stuff on Netflix and Max and Paramount Plus and all of this stuff, a lot of these families wonder, who gets the rights to this material? Do the families of the victims make any money off of these documentaries?
No, they don't.
Or is it these streaming services and platforms that are like, oh, this documentary is going to make us so much money?
Well, that documentary that made it, I wonder if they did make money off of it, because it's on Max, so they had to have.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And I feel like documentaries about victims and families, those families should get a portion of that money. It should be split evenly, especially if they're part of the documentary. I know they shouldn't get all the money.
But there's so many documentaries out there that people do for other things, and do you think those families get money for that? No. Unless they speak in it or something.
It's fucked up that people try to profit off other people's downfalls.
It's just like paparazzi. It's the same concept as paparazzi. It's like a new form of paparazzi. Like,
it's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just like a news report and like a little paragraph and a picture, it's a full-on fucking segment about them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, and people are always going to make money and try to profit off things that aren't about them. Just like with Britney Spears, like, anytime her life was in ruin, that's the best time to get pictures of her. That's the best time to make stories up and just change the story around and make it sound better.
Yeah. It's fucked up. And the Idaho murders didn't just unfold in real life, they exploded on TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube with amateur internet sleuths accusing innocent people and spreading wild theories. And did social media help solve the case, or did it almost ruin it? We're going to talk about some examples on how true crime culture collides with reality. This is how social media hijacked the Idaho murder case, and this is a true crime nightmare. The Idaho student murders became one of TikTok's biggest true crime obsessions, and what happened was when armchair detectives and conspiracy theorists and clout chasing psychics took over the narrative, and we're going to walk you through some disturbing reality of how social media can derail an investigation. I guess the top video on it is from Jacob Edwards in 2022. So, the Hoodie Guy witch hunt started with the grainy food truck surveillance video in a clip, which I'm going to tag it in the description, shows Kaylee and Madison with somebody in a white hoodie, later deemed as Jack Showalter. TikTok detectives were saying, look how that guy is standing, he's totally following them. And they say that there was like an argument that was going on. There's other people saying that Maddie was taking a video of him or was trying to get a picture of him. And this video racked up 2.3 million views as strangers tried to dissect Jack's every movement, except there was one problem. The police had already confirmed that he had nothing to do with the murders. And by then, Jack's family had to hire a lawyer due to him receiving death threats along with his family. And this is why social media justice is the most dangerous. Because that's when people think that they're entitled to gang up on a person when it's all speculative. It's rumors.
Everyone is going to have opinion at the end of the day. That's what I was trying to say earlier. I was like, even though it's alleged, I still will have my own opinion at the end of the day. And you got professionals, people online making these opinions, and a lot of people see those opinions and then they go with that and they believe that's what it is. I feel like it's fucked up. It's just like with paparazzi. Like, you listen to that, you hear something about someone, you believe it, but it's probably not true. They just twisted the story to make it better on their behalf.
Yeah, not everyone's use of free will is the greatest. Some people use free will to lie, and that's really fucked up. And also to interfere with the case, like the psychic circus that started happening. And as the case grew colder, the psychics moved in on accounts like Intuitive Justice. And I guess they had posted visions of the killer and said, I'm getting a strong energy. It's someone close to the family. And these videos use disturbing, vague, and dramatic music to basically prey on people's emotions to get views. And the most disturbing part is many creators like Intuitive Justice monetize ratings through TikTok's creator fund while the families were grieving. So she's trying to make money off of spreading misinformation about the case to her millions of followers, who then start thinking, for some reason, because everyone believes everything they read on the internet. Just kidding, I hope you don't do that. But, all these people like, oh, it must have been someone close to the family because she said so and she's a psychic.
And those are the kind of things you want to be wary about. Like, you can't believe what those people say, like, when it comes to, like, murder cases that aren't even have real information out unless you literally were a part of that person's life and you knew some type of real good information to have proof of why this would happen. Otherwise, at that point, you're just basing it off of a hunch. Like, you having an intuition and seeing it in your brain is insane. Like, are you a psychic? No. Or, like, do you have a profession? Have you proved other type of psychic abilities? Like, you're just a random person.
Here's the real fucking point. People love a good juicy story. People love it.
That's why I don't tell people my drama or my business at work, because I'll tell them one thing and they will turn it to something else, and it has been proven, and I won't tell them shit. Because it's just gonna get twisted.
And there's also the cartel conspiracies that are going viral, or that went viral, and this is completely fiction. There was zero evidence to support that Brian was doing a cartel hit. But that didn't stop some of these videos from getting millions of views. Police later confirmed that Brian had no cartel ties, and he was just a criminology student obsessed with violent crime. So the fact that people were saying that he was doing a cartel hit is super fucked up, and they're making money off that shit.
Yeah, well, I believe it. People are awful. They don't even care if you're having a mental breakdown or something. They're still gonna profit off of it.
Well, I'm not trying to, like, call out people, but, I mean, it's kind of like part of this research, so... one of the most jarring parts of this trend, which actually kind of resulted in the house being torn down, was the crime scene analysis videos from creator True Crime with Kate, who used a 3D house layout to speculate where the killer entered, according to her, and where the survivors were hiding, according to her. And these videos turned real life trauma into content. And it was very flashy graphics, and it had ads in it. And meanwhile, a lot of the victims' families were begging for privacy. And she's trying to, like, speculate how exactly it happened when she's just this TikToker. Some people need to start using their free will to maybe mind their own fucking business at a certain point. But
some people don't have anything else but the online internet and to be trolls.
I
like,
guess, yeah.
A lot of people don't have anything else going on in their life. So that's what they do. They want to involve their self in other people's lives and their stuff, and then they want to give their opinion rather than opinion upon themselves.
Yes, and the true crime community on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram is prolifically known for harassing innocent people, spreading dangerous misinformation, and turning tragedy into entertainment for money. So, one detective on the case told the news these videos don't help with solving the case. They actively hurt. And this spirals off of the fact that the more misinformation that spreads, the more people are going to call in for tips that have to be resubstantiated over and over and over again. And it wastes time.
It's like a whole process.
And the lesson here is that true crime can be fascinating, but when real lives are at stake, maybe we should let the real detectives do the work, and we can talk about what's actively going on, but we shouldn't be speculating to the point where we're hurting the investigation. So a lot of videos have been removed since the case has been unfolded. When it comes to the updated security for the college, Kyla has a little section on.
Yeah, so basically they put like the missing sign out on off campus because they lived in a building next to apartments, literally walking distance to the campus. So it wasn't on campus when this happened, but they got video surveillance of him driving back and forth a multiple of times, and it was from other houses' video footage. So they were able to put it together that he drove back and then he made that counterpoint turn, and they think that's when he decided that he was going to do it. And then that was when the last video footage was presented, because there's a little parking lot. So once you pass the camera, they were showing the outline of him driving, and it's right past the house, and there's a little road, you turn right, and then there's a parking way behind all the trees. So they believe that he parked back that way, because that was the last time they seen the footage. And then around 4:25 they see his car going back that way, speeding at a high rate. But it was not on campus, but it was very close to campus, so they could probably walk to their, their college.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, it was within view of campus, is what they. So I guess they began to put up security cameras around the whole campus.
Yeah, after this was, they were watching him. The FBI was watching him, so they put up, surveillance. And I think they were just trying to find a car, and they found 2 cars, and they linked it to him because they found a video surveillance of a white Hyundai where his college was, not their college, where the college he went to.
Okay. Yeah, because he went to like Washington State.
Yeah, he went to Washington State. It was right over 8 miles down the road or something. Not too far. Like neighbors, basically, same.
Well, there is official security camera timestamp at 3:32 a.m. He entered through a sliding glass door which was unlocked. No cameras captured his face, no alarms sounded. Just hours earlier, the house had many college kids over. The killer enters through a sliding glass door which is unlocked. No cameras captured his face, and no alarms were sounded. And within 48 hours, the University of Idaho installed 40 new security cameras, but the real changes went deeper because for the first time, a lot of colleges in the area admitted that their safety plans were most definitely outdated.
They had to have been like Ring cameras, but the footage of the neighboring hearing that is out now. So it's very obvious. So the fact that no one really called, I don't know, it just don't make sense to me. If they must have been so fucking drunk they didn't know what was going on. I mean, if it's a party house.
It's a possibility.
I can imagine.
And RAs, residence assistants for, the floors at colleges. I had one on every floor that I was on. They are now training with local police to recognize what a crime scene is and what noise complaints differ from a potential crime scene. So this is not at all colleges, but a lot of colleges are implementing RA training, so they're kind of aware on, maybe when is a good time to call the police.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to say anything. It just might be this generation. They're so oblivious.
Yeah.
Fucking oblivious.
People in their
I'm
own
not
world.
saying every single person is, but I'm saying the majority. I mean, they're just like, what? Like, they hear a noise, and even if something traumatic was happening, okay, I'm gonna say, like, I'm not gonna go into detail, but I have had a traumatic experience happen to me, and when I heard the noises, my first thought wasn't, oh, this person's getting hurt. So, I guess I can say that, but if you physically seen the person, you heard a noise, she might not have put it together that something happened to her friend, because that you've never had something traumatic happen to you. You don't live in a life where you have to think about the worst fucking thing. But when you realize something did fucking happen, you're like, wow, like you didn't really. That's not your first thought. You're not thinking the worst possible thing. You're not thinking, oh my god, my friend just got murdered. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, some people.
Your mind just might not work that way. You're not gonna think that right away. I guess. If nothing's ever happened to you to keep you... I mean, I'll tell you what now. I think of the worst thing now. I think of the worst possible thing now. So it's like I'm ready. Like, if I heard that noise and I had that past that happened to me, I would automatically, be assuming.
So...
Because I have to be.
I feel like the other roommates who survived, I feel like there had to have been a reason, whether it was a serious reason or not, why they survived. And I think it's maybe due to him not noticing or paying attention, or maybe them not noticing or paying attention due to other specific reasons that we don't know yet. Like, we're not saying...
We'll find out more.
We're not saying that they were intoxicated. But is it a possibility? It is.
But there's just clues. It was a party house. People partied there every day. There's a clue. They
Yeah.
literally came back from both of them came back from the club and a bar. Or like a party. And one went to a bar and one went to a party. Did they just go there to hang out? Obviously they had some type of fun. They're of the age.
Yeah,
it's normal.
And I feel like, I don't know, there's some reason, whether it's serious or bullshit reason or not, as to why the police was not called earlier. And it might, just, I don't know, there's so many things that you can speculate, but at the end of the day, you gotta make your own decision. So, one of the other shocking truths about the case is that the victim's landlord was not required to provide any security to the house. So now schools are fighting back, saying that they have partnered with landlords to install free motion lights and deadbolts, and if they refuse, they warn students not to live there. And that was one University of Alabama spokesperson.
Why don't they just take it upon themselves and buy their own light on Amazon? Or their own Ring doorbell?
Not every landlord thinks that that's necessary.
But I'm saying I'm saying like the renter. Why don't the kids, like, hey mom, like let's get a security system to make me feel safe. Like all the kids' parents go in on it or something.
I mean, I guess for some people it's just not a priority.
But now it could. I'm just saying, like, if they don't not move in because they won't do it, you take it upon yourself and do it yourself.
No, for sure. And
So
especially to the girl who was stalking the crime scene, there were actually TikTokers at the crime scene. Because as the world obsessed over the case, something very fucking awful happened, and the house became a tourist attraction. So the university had to make a decision. And they ended up demolishing the quote-unquote murder house, as what they portrayed this in the media. Demolition crews tore it down in 2023 because the damage was done. Because colleges were now monitoring the crime scene and posting photos in true crime forums, and the families were getting threatened, and trespassers were getting fined, and people were trying to go to a high-profile crime scene just for internet clout. So, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, this is the world we're living in. So, you people would do any type of video, freaking abusing animals, freaking, people do all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, not, like, I hear about it all the time. Like, this one girl got in trouble in this area. She literally got arrested for, like, punching a dog, and the boyfriend recorded it, and she didn't care. She knew she was being recorded. Like, what the fuck? And the only reason I know this is because I keep seeing mugshots of her face all over the internet on Facebook.
Oh my god.
It's like a girl that lives in this area.
Oh my god! Mm-hmm. That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
People will do anything for internet clout. I guess if you want to know about it, it's probably on the internet somewhere, whether it's easy to find or not, which is a really fucked up thing to think about. But as a 2023 survey, 9 out of 10 students in Idaho were fearful on campus. And one college student said, "We shouldn't have to choose between safety and freedom." And now, apparently, they have, at certain campuses in Idaho, blue light emergency poles near off-campus bars. So they can, like, press a button on the pole instead of having to, use their phone. Which, sometimes, in the moment, you don't have time to use your phone. You're freaking out. And that's a very valid thing. Because if I'm freaking out in the moment, sometimes I'm not thinking about my phone. I'm thinking about what the fuck's going on with me in the moment. So, the hardest lesson here is that no college can promise complete safety, because no matter what you do, even a person who seems like they have it all together can be a monster on the inside. And maybe landlords should be held more accountable, but is that even enough? Because a good person can become a bad person at any time. And this is what me and Eric were talking about the other day as the butterfly effect. Because we were driving home and I just was like, do you believe in the butterfly effect? The butterfly effect. Do you believe in that? He said, kind of. How do you see it? And I said, at any point, I could just decide to ruin my own life. I could decide that I'm going to drive 100 miles an hour down the highway, and I could do that at any point. But I choose not to do that. Like that's like an intrusive thought, you know what I mean? But some people actually act on those eventually. They get crazy enough to where they think they can actually go through with that. And there's multiple factors behind that, but I'm saying that the butterfly effect is real because what if I choose, you know, that I wasn't going to marry my husband, that I would have married one of my exes? My life would be totally different. And maybe that version of me exists elsewhere in the multiverse. Because I feel like if you can think it, it's most probable that it's possible among the millions of universes that are out there. If you think that it exists in the collective consciousness of like everything, it probably does. That's what I think. But that's way bigger than the butterfly effect, but we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, that is really deep.
Oh, the car. And he was like, where the fuck is this coming from? And I was like, my brain, bitch. Like, what the fuck?
NPC. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm tell Eric, NPC motherfucker.
NPC motherfucker.
Well, we have reached the conclusion. As we bring this episode to a close, there were a lot of chilling details that we talked about. We talked about the psychological profile of a killer who may have inserted himself into the world of normalcy, but people want to study and maybe ultimately exploit that. Brian Kohberger is a criminology student. He is accused of a crime so calculated and brutal that it raises a lot of questions. And the alleged killer's background suggests a fascination in violence and maybe desire to outsmart the system that he studied. Just a theory. And this case casts a very harsh light on the culture surrounding true crime and the explosion across social media. Which, yes, we have the interest in justice and victim advocacy is vital, but the internet's obsession with turning real tragedies into content can distort facts, hurt families, and derail investigations. So remember, do not be reckless. Sorry, do not be reckless in reckless in your speculations.
Ridiculous.
Remember to ask yourself, at what point does this awareness that I'm having turn into exploitation before you try to make a video on this stuff? And misinformation is not just a nuance, it's also dangerous because false leads lead to viral rumors, which lead to internet theories, flooding TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube. And social media can amplify misjustice, and it can muddy the waters and re-traumatize the victims' families. And a lot of these victims' families would much rather not have to face the reality of what they're having to face. And meanwhile, they know there's people out there making money off of their misfortune. It's
like Justin Bieber. What are you talking about? I know he's fucking depressed right now. I know JB's going through it. With this Diddy trial going on right now in New York.
Oh, yeah. It's probably talk of the community.
He is. Everybody's been talking about him. I know it's fucking him up.
Well, we don't know what Brian's motives were. We don't know why he chose that house that night. We don't have a murder weapon. We have no link between Brian and the victims that has been made public. The surviving roommates' accounts, the timing of the events, there's a lot of gaps in the physical evidence, and everything's up for speculation. So justice is not about getting the conviction that you want.
So, like, what if, like, that, obviously, never mind, that was already, that guy with the hoodie, what if it wasn't him, and then he got pissed off that she said, fuck off, or something, in the video, but it was already speculated it wasn't him, so never mind.
Yeah, it was, like, their friend or whatever. This has been a wild ride. I had no idea how fascinating this case was before I started looking into the different angles. And we want to know what you think about this case. So time to put it in the comments so we can chat about it. Seriously, we do appreciate you guys for being here with us, and we are so thankful for the opportunity to build this community. So please remember to go to Spotify to our latest episode. Click that episode. There's a poll on there. We want to know what you guys want to see more of. So in the meantime, remember to keep it chatty.
Keep it nice.
And
Keep it sweet because
we will not be keeping it short, bitch.
Nope.
Love you guys. Thank you for support. Mwah, mwah.
Ta-ta for now.